Hi again, everyone. Welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined by Brian Danzig and Reagan Hall of Famers and Commissioner Rick Diesel, who is on his way back from Kansas. Where Ty Tyson had a title defense last night. So I guess the first thing we need to ask you, Rick Diesel, is Ty Tyson still the world heavyweight champion?
Yes, he is still the world heavyweight champion. So it was a tough one, though. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle, but he come out at the end. He done good.
And where are you located right now? You're on the road. You said you were in Kentucky.
We're somewhere. Where we at? Somewhere in Kentucky. We're in Kentucky. I do know that. Yeah.
Well,
we're where? Grayson, Kentucky.
Grayson, Kentucky. Okay. Is that closer to Louisville or Lexington or?
No, now Louisville's way back. We're on the that's on the east. We're near Ashland.
Oh, okay. So you're almost to West Virginia now, I guess.
Yeah, we're not far from West Virginia now.
So there, enjoy your geography lesson, wrestling fans. So it's been a while since we've been here. Actually, 3 weeks. We took WrestleMania weekend off. The week after that, I had a terrible case of bronchitis, so much so that the next day I went to the doctor and got some prednisone to clear that up. It was rough. It was like one of the roughest cases of bronchitis I've ever had. And then last week I was at the NASCAR race in Martinsville. So it got to the point Justin Flash actually reached out to me this week and was like, "Hey man, are you going to do the Ringside Wrestling show again?" And I had to explain to him what was going on. So we were on a bit of an unplanned hiatus. So we apologize for that, but we're back. We're better than ever. There's been a lot going on. We had Spring Jam last weekend. And Brian Danzig, were you there calling all the action? I don't know. I wasn't there. So
yes, I was. And there was a lot of action to call. It was a very exciting event from start to finish.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to ask you all about it. Let's get right into it now. We had an unusual cruiserweight title match in that it was announced throughout the week, the different opponents, but one participant, I should say, was not announced until the night of the show. I have not seen any tapes. The match has not been released to me for air on our YouTube channel yet. We'll get those, whenever they come out, but kind of walk us through what happened in that match, because I'm very interested to know who the new cruiserweight champion is.
Well, the surprise entrant was, they played the Fighters Club music, and both David Parrish and the new member Azrael came out, and it looked like it was going to be one of them, even though they had already had their match that day. And then Clara busted through and hit the ring and went to Suplex City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, started handing out German suplexes left and right.
Clara got in the match?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh my God, what happened? But break it down. Tell us, for those of us who weren't there, kind of break down how this whole match played out and who ended up coming out on top.
Well, I think at first everybody was so surprised, and the first person that really took her on was Con. What's his first name? I'm so bad with names.
Con O'Kelly.
Con O'Kelly was the first, I think, to actually take her on. And then once he took her on, she was fair game. So I'll let you.
Yeah, give us your analysis, Brian.
Well, it was, I'm not really sure how much they want us to reveal.
Go ahead. I don't care at this point. It'll come out. We're hoping in the next couple of weeks it'll come out. It's scheduled to come out in the next couple of weeks on on ROKU. And one of the reasons for that is we're trying to do everything in order now. So we've still got a couple more things from the March 31st show that needs to go on ROKU, and then leading up to Spring Jam, at which point we'll send Spring Jam out. So that way we're not getting ahead of ourselves.
And this is a good time to mention here, the AIWF Live Mid-Atlantic Live show has come back. and it's available on Roku as well as YouTube. So it's we got 421 up on YouTube this week. Is that what we're at on the Roku side too, Rick Diesel? Okay.
Well, Roku should have 422 up. I have not had a chance to look at the Roku because I've been in Kansas. So, but it should have went up Friday night or yesterday morning.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it was, it was a match where they drew at random, and the first participants, it was,
oh, look, you can tell we're near West Virginia. There's a chemical plant.
Yeah, it was Damian. It was Damian Kane and Con O'Kelly started the match, and then they wrestled for 5 minutes, and then after that, every 2 minutes, a new participant would come in, and the match couldn't end until all the participants were in the ring. So it was very chaotic, with all those participants in there, but it actually looked like, and then earlier in the night, looked like there had been some kind of disagreement between Kane and the rest of the Fighters Club, but then in the matchup, he and Claire were high-fiving, and they were working together in the match to look like they were working together to so at least one of the members of the Fighters Club.
We talking about Case and Kane.
Case and Kane, that's right.
We have bad.
Yeah, I was running them off. Y'all got to excuse me because it's been a long ride, and I'm more exhausted than a one-legged prostitute at a foot fetish convention.
But yeah,
they both. It seemed as though they were working together, but then at the end, Clara had was getting ready to pin somebody, and Kane grabbed her and threw her out of the ring and got the pin himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up winning. So the title did go to Kane. So he is now the new AIWF Mid-Atlantic Cruiserweight Champion. But I think he may have, in so doing, may have sacrificed his spot in the Fighters Club, which again looked like it was on pretty much thin ice at that point anyway. Whereas he may have been able to maybe save the relationship, but I guess he saw the opportunity and took it. And I can't say that I blame him.
No.
That's in a match like that. It's it's everyone for themselves, but the rest of the Fighters Club, I'm sure, didn't look at it that way, because Claire had a chance to make history and being the first woman to hold the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Cruiserweight title, and the Mid-Atlantic Women's title at the same time on top of that. And then Casey Kane just took that away from her. And so I'm sure, I haven't heard anything officially from either side, but I can imagine that both Claire and Jack and the rest of the Fighters Club, for that matter, are probably not very happy with them right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. But they would have done the same thing had the roles been reversed. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and,
definitely.
And on a personal note, Clara, you had that coming. That's bad karma you get for your ring announcer comment in the management meeting back on the 31st. So to you.
I was thoroughly excited to see her in the match. It brought back warm and fuzzies for me. So
I'm sure.
I was excited to see a woman taking on some men and holding her own. she did a great job.
Mhm.
I mean, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic match, and she met them fist to fist, suplex to suplex. I mean, she did roll out of the ring a few times and get a little coddled by Jack, but she held her own.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that if anything, I don't think that was necessary. I think Jack probably felt an obligation to do that, but I don't think it was necessary, and I think it may have unnecessarily made it look like she was getting help when it wasn't really needed. But yeah, I think she really held her own in the matchup. And again, she was on her way. I mean, I think she would have, if Casey Kane hadn't have broken the pin or grabbed her before she went for the pin, I think she would be the current AIWF Cruiserweight Champion right now.
She had just as good a chance of winning that as anybody did,
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Yeah, because she matched up with everybody in the match well.
It's always concerning to me, and I have mixed emotions about this, because Reagan, I always considered you once in a lifetime person at this level, being able to compete against men like you did. Of course, you didn't really have a choice.
No.
If you wanted
So
to
I
wrestle,
didn't have a choice.
there was no
It was
women's
either bra or
division.
panties or wrestle. So I
Yeah.
chose wrestling.
So so I'm always thinking about that, but like anytime women and men are in the same match, and intergender matches as they call them, it makes me very nervous, because just for obvious reasons, and I'm always afraid that somebody's going to get mad and somebody that's say twice the size of Clara and discus clothesline her into the middle of next week, because she is smaller. I mean, let's face it, folks, we want to be as PC as we can here, but there is a difference between athletic ability of men and women. That's why there's separate sports.
All right, here we go.
Well, no, I don't care.
Let's go down that road.
Well, I got biology backing me up, so.
Well, here's my thing. One, in the past we have had. Well, actually, that night we had a match with Pretty Boy Lane versus the Guardian. TBT. TBT outweighed him by at least 200 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
at least. But Pretty Boy Lane beat him, and he did. The Guardian did attempt a moonsault that if he had hit it, probably would have squished Lane, and we'd probably still be scraping him off of the mat.
Definitely have to
watch. Just like whatever that was coming out of Ty Tyson this morning at 7:00 on the side of a Kansas highway.
Oh, mercy.
Like, she was matched pretty much because I would say the largest person that was in the match would be Conor Kelly. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say that he would be the biggest and because Damon Bryce is muscular but small. Mm-hmm. Casey Kane,
he's small.
He's small.
Mm-hmm.
He has a model's body.
Yeah, he does. He has to look good for the camera.
So, and you have to admit, she has a Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, which a lot of these guys don't have. And Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a submission, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Submission martial arts. So she's trained in that. And so she has moves that some of these guys probably don't have counters to. Mm-hmm. So female or not, because I will say I was a little bit more matched because I am larger. You can say that, I don't care. Just don't call me fat. But I'm larger, so I matched up with more of the guys in the 2000s. But wrestlers have gotten smaller and smaller.
Well, and I think if she were to hold the cruiserweight title, then there's going to be a weight limit to any man that she would face for that title.
That's a good point. I did not think about that. Yep.
Right. So it would be one thing for her to go for the heavyweight title. You know, I'm not saying that she should be limited, that she couldn't go for it, but I'm just saying that, you know, for the argument of, you know, a man being bigger than her, if, you know, that again, with the, if she had won the cruiserweight title, then that wouldn't really be an issue.
And I will say though, I have seen fans comment that they think the men took it easy on her.
Yeah.
I don't think Conor Kelly did.
Well, and
Conor Kelly let her have it. So.
I didn't see any man take it easy on her.
Okay.
I especially didn't see any man do that thing of they start to go, the other rear back and oh no, I can't hit you, you're a woman. I didn't see anybody doing that. They're like, you know, every man I saw was like, I want this title, you're in the way. That's my thing. You want to get in the ring and fight, then you should be able to fight.
Yeah. I'm always fearful of this happening. Do you guys remember? I was there, 1999 King of the Ring, Greensboro, North Carolina. The first semifinal or the first tournament match they had that night was Road Dogg against China. And that match was fucking terrible because he was holding back. And I'm always concerned that that's going to happen.
Well, then that's his fault.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he ended up winning, but, you know, still.
Right. But again, it's, you know, if
you're too pussy to fight a woman, you're too pussy to fight a woman.
Wow. Okay. There are going to be some people out there that take that wrong. This will be the one that comes back to haunt us on Twitter about 15 years from now.
The thing about it is, if there was a woman that could stand up and hold her own against that particular ring full of men, it would be Clara.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I don't feel like it was the same as the big fallout me and George South had back when, you know, Tessa Blanchard beat him for his heavyweight title. To me, and that goes back to the cruiserweight and heavyweight title thing. To me, her beating him, and I said this on Facebook, and it kind of pissed poor George off, but, you know, when she beat him for that title, she shit on every guy in the dressing room that could not beat him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
once again, that was a heavyweight title that everybody in his dressing room was going after. Wasn't a cruiserweight title where it was smaller wrestlers. The thing about like you said, a heavyweight title that changes things. Yeah. Because there's 300-pound guys that could go for that technically should come out and crush her in 30 seconds.
Right. And I can see where that comes from, but I wouldn't use George South as an example because he is an old man. I mean, not.
My example was that all the guys who tried to beat him for that title and he beat them, when she beat George, she basically proved that she was better than every man in his dressing room, no matter what their size. That's
and
what
that match went an hour too, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes, I think.
Oh, okay. I remember when that happened and you being real angry about it. And
I was very upset about that because she just shit on every guy in the dressing room. It was bad. It was bad storytelling. Don't give a damn who knows.
Couldn't you say the same thing when Rey Mysterio won the heavyweight fight?
Yes,
the heavyweight fight.
I even thought
I'm so mad I can't talk. Heavyweight belt. Rey Mysterio was how tall? 5'4".
Yeah, 5'4", 5'5".
And he beat
Randy Orton and Kurt Angle, I believe.
I understand that there are some differences, but Tessa Blanchard is stacked. She's built very different. She's built pretty manly, not to be like saying she looks like a man, but she's built that way. She has the wrestling background like that she does. It's not like I'm trying to think of somebody without it sounding insulting.
Like Stacy Keibler.
Stacy Keibler, yeah.
Or you know, some woman who, it was like just like one of the divas who couldn't really wrestle. you know.
Well, I get that, but my point is that she beat the guy nobody else in the dressing room could beat, which means she just beat everybody in the dressing room.
Yeah,
Well,
and her career's gone really well since then too. So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
wow.
That is true.
Yeah,
I
not to mention the fact, she's a racist hag, but whatever.
mean, but there are some women that are better technical wrestlers than some men. And I
Mhm.
would say Tessa Blanchard is a better technical wrestler than George South.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's probably physically. She's probably
Same case. Would you say George South is a better technical wrestler than everybody in his dressing room, considering nobody else could beat him?
No,
You're not gonna get me to say anything nice about George South.
God, come on, I'm trying really hard here.
And he, I'm gonna make some people mad, so I'm just gonna shut up.
Well, you've already encouraged
everybody
beating
else-
women, so
Huh?
you've already
What?
encouraged domestic violence and beating women. So I mean, you can.
That's not domestic violence. Domestic violence comes from a place of power. Domestic violence is not about that. It's about exerting power. And if a woman has the power to take on a man, she should take on a man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. What did you want to say that piss people off? Now that we got Justin Flash and Justin Flash Jr. here.
Hey, Justin Flash, maybe you should change the tone of this because I'm getting, but like,
Because I think saying that having a man compete against a woman promotes domestic violence is saying that having men fight against each other promotes violence. It's not violence, it's a sport. It's a man trying to pin another man in a sport.
Yeah.
It's different than like she said, a man exerting power over a woman who has no choice, and a woman saying, I agree to step in a ring with this man and compete with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different situation.
Yeah. No, I was just jerking.
now
your
I'm
chain.
mad, so I'm just gonna shut down.
No, I was just jerking your chain. It's always fun to make those big leaps.
Change the subject. Brian's dancing a dance in the
Hey,
same room with somebody who could probably take it.
dancing. I have beat Brian dancing.
Yeah,
That's
know.
what I
was-
just
was,
said.
uh,
He's
was there.
doing this dance in a room with somebody who could probably take him. So I get it.
Fallen Angel and I took on him and Brad and beat them. So
Man, that was a long time ago.
it was a long time
It was
ago.
a long time ago, yeah.
Oh man. So let's
Maybe
see
we
here.
should move on.
Well, I
We know
wanted
who
to
done all
discuss
the
that
work
first.
match.
I wanted to discuss that first because I knew it was going to be a hot topic, and I want to go ahead and get it out of the way. There has been some movement on wrestling Twitter over the last few days and weeks and stuff like that, and I have really noticed an increase in accounts that have popped up just for the sole existence of trolling AEW fans. And I'm going to tell you, it is quite the comedy caravan going on right over there. Now, if you're like me and you enjoy wrestling and like to see as much of it as you can, but don't mind pointing out when something is terrible or when something is really good, and you can keep an open mind, I think you'll like it. If you're one of these people who is a staunch AEW loyalist who does not think they can do any wrong, you should probably get off Twitter right now because they are coming for you now, and it's quite hilarious. But a video has surfaced today that I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if you've seen it or know who this person is. Masada, and the tweet here says is a wife beating idiot and just set himself on fire. Masada is a wife beating idiot and just set himself on fire. But this is Brian, you dealt with fire several times in your career. And I mean, I don't guess there's any way that you can really deal with fire in a safe manner. But there is a way to deal with it and not cause a lot. Well, here, let's just look at it. You guys see this video?
I can't see it very good, but I'm on a phone traveling.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, there you go. I see it
That's
now.
right.
Do this again.
All right, let's see if I can get it.
Oh God. Is that a blowtorch?
No, he just has the. Well,
Well, that ain't no AEW show.
No.
No. Oh my God. That is a mistake. Well, I'll let you talk because you and Chris Tenney blew fire. So
mhm.
But that guy did it completely wrong.
Yeah,
and that,
yeah, he did.
I bet he used gasoline.
I bet he did too, and it a lot of people don't realize it's not the liquid that burns in gas; it's the fumes.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I mean, Chris Tenney used Everclear.
Well, he actually preferred lighter fluid because he
It's
he
safer.
tried both, and he said that the lighter fluid was actually less volatile than the Everclear, and so it was actually safer to use.
For fire, but not for drinking.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Brian got everything, got his beard and hair and
Yeah.
eyebrows burnt off.
Well, for one thing, doesn't he remember from grade school? Stop, drop, and roll. It's not.
Evidently not. I mean, here's another angle of it.
Because it looks like he has one of those things like you see at a tiki thing, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like a Polynesian dance.
Yeah, like you
thing,
see
like
at the fair, like the fire breathers and stuff. Yeah.
But I would love to know what he used because I
feel like whatever it was probably dripping down his neck.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and the bottle that he's drinking from, he then uses that to try to put himself out. So he's putting more and more fuel on the fire as he's trying to put himself out. He's using the stuff. You can see.
Oh,
He's like,
so he probably
Need
has
some more
on his
gas.
hands.
Need some more gas. Oh man, there's sound to this. Let me see if I can pull it up with sound.
Because if he has, oh my God. See, this is the difference between being good at
stupid.
Because hardcore people give it a bad rep because you have idiots who don't know the technique of hardcore.
Mhm.
They think it's just doing crazy shit, but there's a technique to it.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, listen to this. Listen real close. I got sound with it this time. Listen to the crowd, listen to the sound of the fire and all that, and then we'll come back and talk about it. We'll do it one more time.
why is nobody helping him? Why is nobody throwing something on him? Why isn't it?
Because they weren't prepared. I don't think that they if he told anybody he was going to do that, he didn't tell the right person because there was nobody there with a bucket of water. There was
that show looks like it's in a tent also.
It does look like it was in a tent. And so, but it's funny on the wide angle view and folks, I know the people listening on audio are just going crazy right now. That's why our numbers are like they are. But if you look at the wide angle shot, you see somebody throw a bottle of water across the ring and like it hits him in the back as he's running away. Like, like of all the damn things you could do that are not going to help. I mean, the fact that he splashed himself with the flammable liquid to try to put out the fire, as Brian pointed out, is bad enough. But then somebody just chucks a water bottle at him like, here, use this.
Yeah, there you go. That should help.
Well, I've always said that wrestling was very natural selection. You know what I'm saying? It's like we tend to weed out idiots, or they tend to weed themselves out. So that's, I mean, if somebody pulls something like that, I part of me says, well, maybe you should feel sorry for him, and the other part says, no, I'm too busy laughing at him to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, because again, you know, we've said it before. Sometimes even trained professionals, things happen and they get hurt, and there's really nothing you can do about it. That was something that was easily preventable. by simply knowing what you're doing. And he
Yes.
obviously had no idea what he was doing.
Because it probably also had to do with how much fire was coming off the thing that he blew.
Yeah.
And it was very close to his body. Because, like, if you think about like Polynesian dancers and stuff when they do it, or when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat did it, his arm was completely extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you blow and it's up.
Mhm.
So they would blow up at it. So, and it's further away. So that's probably another thing, because it looked like he did it like he was getting ready to eat fucking corn.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's a good point. And you notice Ricky Steamboat when he did it, although it made a big burst of flame when he did it, it didn't look like he spit that much liquid.
Mm-mm.
Right.
And so, and that right there, you can hear the sound. You can hear him when he blows and that fire, hits that oxygen, and it will just that whoosh,
Man, I wish we had Chris Tenney here to talk about this.
but the dangers of blowing fire in wrestling.
I mean, and you can make mistakes. The mistake was made with Robbie Evil, with a table that had too much lighter fluid on it. Mistakes can happen, and it melted his new gear.
Well, tell everybody about that. Now this is circa what year that this happened? With
I would
Robbie?
say this was on the show that my first match was on. It was near Myrtle Beach, right? Was that show? And
The one in Wallace. Are you
Yeah.
talking about show in Wallace?
yes, right. Isn't that where it happened, Robbie? And I don't remember who did it, but they squirted that table. Oh, was that you? Okay,
Yeah,
let
and
Dean.
it wasn't
let
a
Rick
table.
tell
It was
it
just I
then.
just squirted Robbie with it and set him on fire and burn all the hair off his face.
And melted his new gear. He whined about that.
Yeah,
for a
I
while.
melted his gear, but in my defense, I did try to beat it out with a chair.
Yeah. Well, at least you tried.
That's what you get for wearing vinyl gear.
It wasn't vinyl. Wasn't vinyl. It was regular spandex.
Oh,
Yeah,
And Ron,
what
I
it
know all
was,
this. I don't know.
That was
I got a little overzealous in that, and I take full responsibility for that one.
the weird thing about
New
that
town,
show,
I was trying to shock people. I'm like, I just burned this guy in front of them.
oh, you could have dropped a cow in the ring and slaughtered it and not got a pop out of that crowd that night. That was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. It was a great house. I mean, a lot of people turned up for it, but they were just
I don't
quiet.
think they understood what we done.
Yeah, but that was my first match. It was a battle royal.
That
No.
Wallace, that was God. That's back.
There's a lot of stuff that came out of Wallace. Lots of personal stuff that came out of that night too.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
we had
remember
a
that
lot
much.
of personal stories over the last 25 or 30 years.
But
Probably shouldn't tell.
but that's just, I don't know. What do you think, Justin Flash? You ever been set on fire, Justin Flash?
No, that's really why I haven't had much to say on this, because I've pretty much stayed away from fire. Like, fire bad. So
bad. Yeah, I've never used it myself, but I have been set on fire before.
And Don Carson set
Wait
me
a
on
minute.
fire.
You dropped Terminator X face first onto a flaming chair.
I still got to get that
I have
picture
used
though, guys.
fire. But I've never blown fire.
Yeah.
I've never tried to blow fire, but yeah, I have set people on fire and dropped people into fire before. So yeah, you're right. I just
James
need
and
to
Ronnie
think
set my crotch on fire like a fuse.
that.
Not to break the second wall, third wall, or whatever they call it, like
Fourth wall.
fourth wall. But like, if you use the correct stuff, it burns off before it burns you. I mean,
Yes.
if we're going to talk about what that guy did in a realistic way, unfortunately, if you use the wrong stuff, it doesn't burn off.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to use anything like kerosene or gasoline,
No.
any type of thick oil like that, because it will soak in. That's the thing that makes kerosene such a good fuel oil, is like if you have them old kerosene stoves, they had a wick in them like a lantern does. you know, and the kerosene would, you put that wick down in that kerosene, it would soak it up, you know, and the kerosene burns this little bitty flame, and you can heat a whole room with it. Remember those old kerosene space heaters from the 70s? You know, I had one all the way till the 90s, but it came from the 70s, and I think they found those things were dangerous, but that they like put CO2 in the air or something like that. But they were good heaters. You know, we didn't know any better back then.
I remember when I was younger, I had a trailer, and that was my only source of heat was a kerosene heater, and it heated up that whole trailer.
Yeah, and with a
Yeah.
little bitty
I got-
flame.
And I
Me
got
too.
too close to one time, and it melted my nightgown off of me.
Wow.
Like before because when I was growing up, they didn't have the fence around them.
Uh-huh.
It was just and I got too close, and I had a satin nightgown on, and it just melted. It's scary, so I'm scared to death. I just want to say something. My child just walked down the steps and goes, "I have a question. Do wrestlers really set each other on fire?" So
Yes.
And thanks for watching, kid.
Hey, Brian, was you at my house that time I melted my tracksuit to my nutsack with one of them things?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
remember hearing about it, but I don't know if I was actually there when it
I
happened.
remember because I got it was cold in there and it was sitting in the kitchen and I got too close to it. You remember them old tracksuits that everybody used to wear back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that thing melted to my nutsack. God almighty, it was painful.
Yeah.
well, we have gone off the rails.
Yes, we have. But I knew we
Oh,
would
we
because
always
it's our first
do.
show back in like 3 weeks. So
I mean, that's the gimmick of this show.
yeah, going off the rails.
There are
But no,
no
what
rails to go off.
what I was getting at is if you're going to do something like that, anything with fire, you should probably use, as opposed to kerosene or gasoline or anything like that, regular old Roncinol lighter fluid, you know, and because
Yes.
it does not soak in, it burns and goes out, you know. And
Yeah.
and the reason I know that is because well, that Judge Law used to do the Flaming Claw, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
and he wore one of those gloves, one of those biker's gloves with no fingers in it, right? And he would put the lighter fluid on the back of it, light it, nice visual effect, you know, but really wouldn't hurt anybody. But I saw Neil Leathers one time was trying to duplicate that at home, but he wanted to make it more hardcore. So he took, and this was just in front of me at his house, he was experimenting, and he took lighter fluid and put it all up and down his right arm with no protection, and lit it. And I mean, it was a good thing he was in front of the sink, you know, because it, you know, I mean, if you set yourself on fire, it immediately hurts. And so he started to scream and he got it put out. But that's why I learned that yeah, you should never use any type of fuel oil that's going to soak in, because that could have been a whole lot worse, because he was thinking about doing it with kerosene, but I talked him out of it. Couldn't talk him out of doing it with lighter fluid. So
Speaking of another dumbass, so.
but
I'm sure he experimented with a lot of things at his house.
well, that's the only one I saw, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'll get an email over that one probably.
Oh, he's got your email. Does he watch this show?
I don't know.
Stuff gets back to him.
Oh wow, okay, I did not know that. So has he had words about when Chains came on here?
No,
No, I
I think
haven't heard anything. Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, okay, because that was pretty bad. So
It
but
Yeah, it's true.
anyway, our YouTube page has gone over 800 subscribers. So
Yes.
thank you very much. You did that over the last week. I am so grateful for that. And I'm going to show you here what some of the things that we've done for the YouTube channel. So if you're out there and you have not subscribed, we're trying to get to 1,000. And I am going to try to come up with some sort of prize for our 1,000 subscriber if we get there. Hopefully we can do that this year, because we spare every expense possible. So we're not doing any like paid advertising for this thing, but like it's got all kinds of stuff on here, from classic stuff to, you know, most recently, like we got this show is archived on here. All kinds of things. The $20 dog food challenge of Kevin
God
Phoenix
bless.
is on there. But here's what's cool though, guys. You can click right here on playlists, and you can go and find your favorite wrestler. Nikki Valentine, Plex Livett, Jimmy Mack, Jedediah Blackhawk, you know, JJ Cerna is there. Pretty much everybody is there. That's, you know, made an appearance on the YouTube page. You know, you see I've got it split up women's division, Kevin Stryker. Let's see, since Justin Flash is here, I'm going to try to find here's Justin Flash's playlist, although it does have a picture of Kevin Phoenix on there. Don't let that throw you. That does not mean that that's who the picture does not match what's on here a lot of times. So, but anyway,
I have a feeling Kevin had something to do with that happening.
No, it was random YouTube. He didn't have anything to do with it. I won't let him get near this page. This is my baby. But anyway, you can see here all of Justin Flash's matches are listed here. You know, even this classic with Brian Danzig from the National Guard Armory way back when.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you want to see anything that Justin Flash is mixed up in, right there it is. So the YouTube page is really, really doing well. And so we thank you for all your support on there. We've got more people tuning into the YouTube channel from right here in North Carolina now, as opposed to India at first.
That's good. Finally.
We got, so most of our traffic now is with North Carolina and Virginia. So that's great. And speaking of North Carolina and Virginia, I know I need to get and pay some bills real quick. But let me just everybody thinks all these independent wrestling promotions hate each other. And that is far from the truth. There is a lot of professional jealousy that goes around, but that's just part and parcel with the wrestling business. How about Pure Pro Wrestling scoring a television deal with BTW in Martinsville, Virginia? So when PPW puts up a poster that says TV taping, it's actually going on TV. Oh my God.
I was there last night. We had a TV taping last night.
Yeah, I am so happy with that. It does my heart good to see wrestling back on TV in Martinsville. As most of you know, that's my hometown. That's where I'm from. I live in North Carolina now. And we used to have a great television presence in Martinsville. Rick Diesel started the whole thing.
If they do it right, it'll benefit them a lot, because there's a lot of good fans up there that love independent wrestling. So
yeah.
Now this show is done right. I can tell you that. It's looks like they really, really did take the time to produce it well. The announcers are good, but the production is first rate. Let me ask you something, Justin Flash. Do you know the name of the producer at BTW that's putting that together? Because that to me has Doug written all over it. And so I don't even know if Doug's still with them, but
I'm pretty sure I talked to the guy who's kind of over all that, but I cannot remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably get it to you later. I'm not sure right off the bat.
When I went to work at WMVA in 1999, there was a guy named Doug there, and he kind of trained me. And after WMVA, kind of fell by the wayside and started getting automated and everything, he moved over to BTW while I was at Star News. And so for those of you who know the local television scene in Martinsville, you know that there's a lot of heat between Star News and BTW because they're rivals, right? They compete for the same audience. So it was always funny because Charles and Chad kind of hated each other. But if we'd show up at the same event, like a football game or something, and Doug would be there for BTW and I would be there for Star News, we were buddies from WMVA days, and we're all shaking hands, giving hugs. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hey, I really enjoyed what you've been doing. And Charles and Chad would kind of be standing there looking at each other like, and so it was always kind of fun to watch them squirm a little bit. But so congratulations to PPW, man. That's great. I've seen their shows are up on YouTube as well. If you'd like to check them out, you can find them on YouTube. So yeah, that's really great. So see, Charles, you missed the bus on that one, buddy. Competition got you. Well, I mean, I don't think Charles has the time or the staff to be able to produce something like that now. If you go up there now, man, he's got it cut down to bare bones. It's just him, a couple of employees, and the salespeople. So
I do need to go up there and bust in one time on one of his shows just for the hell of it.
Oh, that would be great. I know he would love it. I was trying to get you on with Mark Childry, but Mark I don't know if Mark's going into the studios again yet. I'll have to talk to him, but
I don't know.
nonetheless.
Mark's a little nervous over me after the Rooster incident.
Yes, as well he should be. And for those of you who don't know, let's tell this story real quick, just in case we got any new listeners. Every year in October, that Reedsville has a street festival. They called it Antique Alley, and I don't know if they still call it that or not, but they close for one Saturday. They close off the street. They have food trucks there, all kinds of different antique dealers, craft dealers. They have music. It's a really big deal. And Star News's Reedsville studios are right downtown. So we would cover it live every year. And all you had to do was just, literally just run the cable, plug in some cameras at each end of the street, and we could do a marathon broadcast all day. And that's what we did. And it was so much fun. So we're doing that one day. And, here comes Rick Diesel, who had been tipped off about this possibility to do something crazy on live TV. I can't imagine who would have done that. But so we're standing there. Mark Childry is interviewing people. Rick Diesel walks up. He's talking with Mark, and then a little old lady walks up, and she's got a big wooden rooster that she's just procured from one of the craftsmen there. And Rick Diesel, what did you say to her?
I looked at her when she walked up with that big wooden rooster. I said, "Don't you realize it's against law to walk down the street with a cock in your hand?"
Yep, said it on live TV. And this is not just cable TV. This is not cable access, folks. WGSR is an over-the-air linear television station with a range of about 150 miles.
FCC.
Yes, and with a range of about 150 miles in every direction. So
Poor Mark, and look on his face, man, was just like, what the hell did you just do?
Yeah, I can't believe, because Mark was having a rough day that day, because just about 10 minutes before you came up there and started talking to him, some guy if you ever see a television camera set up and somebody with a microphone standing across from it, don't walk in between them. Don't do that, because it's just awful. And it's just rude. It's like not putting your damn buggy back in the buggy thing when you go to the supermarket. These are just the worst kind of people. And Mark had to hold himself back from punching a guy for walking into the shot just about 10 minutes before you walked up there. So I imagine that in his mind, he was thinking, oh my God, this day cannot get any worse. So, but it did.
Here, hold my beer. Hold my cock.
Yeah, here, oh my God. Oh, all right. Let me go ahead and pay some bills here real quick. I need to do this now that we're really down in the gutter. Let's talk about our sponsors here. Premier Auto Detailing.
Did we just do that with Justin Flash's kid sitting in his lap? We did, didn't we? I'm sorry, Justin Flash.
Yeah, well, he knows what we do here.
It's Matt Carter's fault. Yeah, it's your fault, Justin Flash. You know what we do on here. So if your kid heard that, I'm sorry, but it's your fault.
His kids grown up.
Me.
Those children have grown up around the wrestling business. I'm sure they've heard a lot worse. As a matter of fact, when he comes back, we're going to talk about his kid and something else that happened at Spring Jam. Premier Auto Detailing. They can make that old jalopy look like it just rolled off the showroom floor. Call 336-883-5722 for more information. Now, Premier Auto Detailing, they are a detail service. They can do individual jobs for you. So if Uncle Leotis's truck, you finally got wheels on it again and got it running, it's been sitting in the backyard for 20 years, but you finally got it up and running again, well, you're going to have to blow all those black widow spiders and dust off of it and get it shiny and ready to go before you take it into town, right? Premier Auto Detailing specializes in that type of work. They clean right down to the nub. Down with toothbrushes, the whole 9 yards. Not only do they do individual type gigs, they can also do fleet service. So if you've got a used car lot and you need some consistent detail work on cars done when you sell them, because it's kind of rude as a car dealer to sell somebody a car and then not wash it for them when they come to pick it up. This is Premier Auto Detailing. These are their experts and can help you out. So call them at 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. Whoever is talking over my ad read, please stop. Thank you. Also, Tees Creations Custom Apparel. They are almost read the Tees Treats. Hang on a second. Okay. They are a custom apparel outfit in the Mount Airy area, but they can serve you anywhere in the country. You can find them at teescreations22.com or on Facebook. Just search Tees Creations. Custom made t-shirts. If you got a family reunion, anything like that coming out, they can do the custom front license plate for you. If you live here in North Carolina, you only know we don't have to run front plates here in this state. So they can do that. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. They can do tumblers. They can do custom jobs. Also, they have an entire variety of pre-made designs. If you go on their website, you can look through teescreations22.com. That's TScreations22.com. No apostrophe there. teescreations22.com, or you can go on facebook.com and Tees Creations. And if you'd like to advertise with this wild and wacky show, it's very affordable, $10 a month. And if we go on a hiatus, something like we did this time, it's not going to cost you a dime, because we only bill you after we do 4 readings. So monthly fee of $10 for the audio read, like you just heard. And we'll do some slides for you and all that kind of stuff for the video, and also put advertising on Roku, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over the place with that stuff. So you can reach out to myself, Rick Diesel. You can see us at a live show, or you can reach out to us at this email address, which is AIWF20@hotmail.com. That's AIWF20@hotmail.com. We're available on all the platforms you see here, live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find your favorite podcast. We're there. We're also on the Roku channel. Although our audio numbers are not that awesome yet, let's just be honest.
We do have some loyal listeners, though. We do. I had some people come up to me at the last show who are very loyal listeners, so we need to give a shout out to them. So I
appreciate it. Did you get their names? I'll say them.
I did. Junior and Vicey Smith from Gladesboro, Virginia, and Carroll County. The lady that came out to me sits with them and says they listen to it on the podcast, and she recognized my voice. And I actually have a couple of fans that came up to me and talked to me and stuff. So that she told me about them. They listen all the time. So
we really appreciate that. So, hey, up in Carroll County, Virginia, thank you for listening to the podcast. And so what I'm thinking maybe we need to do is maybe do something different, because they get the video version of the podcast. If you've seen the video version, you've heard the audio version too. So maybe we're going to have to do a hard stop and a time limit for this show, and then do some more additional content just for the audio. So it'll be something different. And we can get away with a lot more on audio.
I like that.
And then because a lot of Patreons do that, when people make you pay to listen to them.
Yeah, well, would anybody like my thoughts on fucking paywalls? Because I can keep going. I look, man, I don't ever let it be said that Matt Carter stood in the way of anybody making a buck. Mm-hmm. But I just think it is ridiculous the way some of these podcasters fleece their freaking listeners. And I'm not going to name names, because some of the people that I'm talking about right now, I personally like. So I'm not, I'm just saying, I don't want paywalls associated with this show. I just don't.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I
they
mean,
pay to come to the show.
Well, I mean, it's like, see, I get the whole wrestling convention vibe from it, because at a wrestling convention, you buy a ticket to the convention, and then there's all these wrestlers there, and anybody that you want a photo and autograph from, you got to go up and pay them too. Now, there have been some wrestling conventions that have been designed where you pay that cost up front, right? So, all right, there've been wrestling conventions that have been set up. Okay, well, if you get the gold pass, then you get an autograph from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wrestlers included with your admission. And to me, that's perfectly fine. you know, people knowing what they're getting before they go in there. But the unsuspecting wrestling fan, which these conventions have been around long enough, everybody knows what's up now. But let's just say, you know, you're from the backwoods, and this is the first time you ever been to the big city, and you're going into a WrestleCade or something like that, and you pay to get in. WrestleCade, WrestleCon, those are kind of the two biggest ones in the country right now. You pay to get in this convention. I'm like, wow, all of my heroes are here. And then the next thing you know, you've got 4 autographs and dropped $400. And so, you know, I don't know. It's just yeah.
That's why you should win tickets like I do every year.
Yeah.
I probably just jinxed myself now, doxed myself as a winner.
Yeah, might have. But anyway, Justin Flash, you had some interesting goings on. I hadn't seen any of the video. I'm waiting on it, just like everybody else is. During your match, a 30-minute Iron Man match with Jack, I saw some of your social media posts the next day. It looked like a rough match. It looked like you had a match with fucking Wahoo McDaniel or somebody like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I was like, wow, did Wahoo come back, you know, and not tell anybody? But a lot of weird things went on. Can you guys kind of explain for the fans and those of us who weren't there what went on there, why it was so controversial? And I understand that your child was assaulted. Is that understanding that correctly?
It was one of the hardest hitting matches I've been a part of in a long time, if not ever. Definitely a tough match. The issue with Eli occurred earlier in the night. I don't know if it was during that the cruiserweight match. It was when all of okay, he said it was. It was when a whole fighters crew was out there, and Eli, he usually sits up in the bleachers, and he came down to the railings and was giving them an earful as he usually does. And then I think Jack made a comment toward him that was borderline little too over the line, which I know Jack isn't opposed to stepping over the line on what he says to anybody, children or what be it. And then Azrael had the audacity to put his hands on my kid. Apparently he just took his fingers and shoved Eli in the chest and pushed him back. And from what I heard, I haven't seen the video. I've just heard what the people out in the fans were telling me. He pushed him pretty good, and everybody got riled up, and Azrael was about to get his tail handed to him by about 100 people or more. Mm-hmm. So word got back to me. I ended up having to talk to Eli and kind of calming him down and letting him know that everything's going to be all right. So that kind of added fuel to the fire I already had going into the Iron Man match. That might also add to why it was such a hard-hitting match, because, I mean, it was a title match, of course, so I was out there trying to put Jack down with everything I had, and he was just throwing it all back just as hard. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the sum of everything that night.
Wow.
Did I leave anything out?
The second time we've had a child attacked by the Fighters Club now.
And the guy that pushed me, he said something just like Jack said, but it was a different person.
Interesting. Go around the horn. Rick Diesel, do we have a problem with the Fighters Club? First it was Rose Tyson, now they've gotten even younger with the children there.
Well, it's obvious that their limits are way low. Their boundaries are way low. Their bar is way low when it comes to the fans. I don't really know how to deal with this, because the AIWF's always been one of the companies that we let the wrestlers deal with their problems. Mm-hmm. So I don't think management stepping in and doing anything is going to solve anything. I think the ball's in Justin Flash's court now. He's had an issue with the Fighters Club for a while, and he is going to have to step up, man up, and handle his business.
Wow, that sounds like that probably sounds like just what you wanted to hear, Justin Flash. Don't worry about any repercussions from the governing body. You go do what you need to do.
Noted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that.
And it goes both ways. I mean,
unfortunately, of course, I walked away from Spring Jam without the title. I did not win the Iron Man match. That's the second match I've had against Jack for the title and came out unsuccessful. So now I've got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what I need to do to get that shot again, because I still don't think he earned that championship. He earned it more so at Spring Jam than at Seasons Beating, but I still think I'm entitled to at least one more shot, one more fair shot for that title. And I'm going to find a way to get back in the ring with Jack for that belt at least one more time.
Brian Danzig, you were at ringside. Your thoughts and analysis on what you saw in the Iron Man match?
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people that believes that what the referee calls goes. I didn't see, because the thing is the controversy, and there's a controversy of whether
I
or
didn't know
not
if we wanted
Jack,
to talk about that finish now or not.
yeah, the whole thing is, did Jack tap out before the bell rang? But what I saw, but again, I wasn't looking at Jack's hand. I was looking at the referee. I saw the referee call for the bell. I look over and see Jack tapping. So I don't know which one happened first, but either way, the ref called that the match was over. So that's the ending of the match. But at the same time, I think it was such a hard fought match. It was such a close match that either way, there needs to be another title match.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Now, the way I saw it and heard it is Jack was tapping before I heard the bell. So by hearing that, I hear the tapping, I hear the bell. I'm thinking it's 1-1. We're going into sudden death. We're going into overtime. Reggie walked up to me in the corner. You can see it on the video. I'm sitting here thinking we're getting ready to go into overtime, and he's shaking his head saying he went and looked at the time, and by the time the clock hit 0 on the counter, he had not tapped yet. So the counter had hit 0, then he tapped, but he was already calling for the bell, and the bell just happened to ring after he tapped.
Right, and again, that probably did happen. The ref called for the bell. There might have been a 1 or 2 second delay of when the bell actually rang.
That's how it was explained to me.
Right, but again, like I said, just it was such a good matchup and such a such an evenly fought match that it could have gone either way easily. And so just for that, but again, I'm not the one who makes the calls, but I know I would love to see another match with Justin Flash and Jack, because that 30-minute Iron Man match. I mean, I've seen Iron Man matches, on pay-per-views where I'm like, is this over yet? Mm-hmm. Like, oh no, it's only been 10 minutes. This one, they would call 10 minutes. So I'm like, really? And then they called 15 minutes. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then 25. And I mean, I was just on the edge of my seat the entire match. And I could have watched another 30 minutes.
Aren't those the best?
I don't know if they could have gone another 30 minutes the way they were beating on each other. But as far as just a
the adrenaline I had going, I was ready to go another 30. When I thought I got tied up, I was ready to keep going, keep fighting.
Aren't those the best wrestling matches though? When you get to the point in the match where you start wishing that it won't end. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's awesome. I can't wait to see the video. My question though is, I heard you guys say that the referee was calling for the bell. Now, if the time limit expired, was there a visible clock on the screen that the referee could see? Yes. Okay, all right. So, because I know that usually that's the timekeeper's, job is like when the time runs out, just ding, 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 and the referees the match until he hears the bell. And so, just thought that was kind of unusual. I saw that Jack's tapped. He's saying
he did tap. Jack did tap. It was just he held on until the time was called. but as soon as time was called, he started tapping. If he had that crossface hooked on 5 seconds earlier, I think we would have a new Mid-Atlantic heavyweight champion right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's like when the Fighters Club got together, they started running amok, and nobody could really do anything with them. And then Justin Flash makes his return, and he has been the bane of their existence since he came back. You know, I mean, like wherever they turn, there's Justin Flash. Here he is again.
And I will say
He has kind of been a burr in their saddle for ever since his
Yeah,
return.
right
hasn't
before I
he?
came back on a regular basis, I was kind of doing some research. I was gone for 6 years, so I'm like, who are these new faces? What's going on here? And then I saw the video with Rose, and Jack had Rose, and I'm like, who's this guy? And so I was watching that thinking, no, this can't be happening. And then he puts his hands on her again a few months ago. I just happened to be there. I stopped that. Then he tried to do same thing with Casey Fox. No, Jack is not going to run amok on whoever he wants and put his hands on whoever he wants, so long as I am there. If I can help it and I see what's going on, I'm going to try and put a stop to it.
Yeah, I would venture to say that Justin Flash getting a third title match with him is going to be rough. If you took him to the limit like that, he's probably going to, I'm sorry, go into Rick Diesel mode in the late 90s and just try to duck you.
My thing though is I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that. I know that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. But Jack when he came to the ring in that matchup. He was by himself, and no other member of the Fighters Club came out that entire matchup. I think Justin Flash has gotten under his skin. And for the first time, he feels like he has something to prove against an opponent. I think every other opponent, he hasn't had that level of respect for, to say, well, I don't really care if I beat them by myself. As long as I win, I think he has something to prove against Justin Flash. And the fact that he came out in that match by himself and didn't have the Fighters Club come out the entire 30 minutes, I think he may actually want another shot at him.
We will see. Maybe Jack will come on in the next week or two before we get to May 6th, I believe.
Watching right now.
Huh?
He's watching right now.
But then again,
just let me do this again then. Clara, that's for your ring announcer comment. I'm glad you didn't win the title.
But then again, he could be like, well, I already proved myself. I beat him in a 30-minute Iron Man match and he got his chance. So, and he did it by himself. So,
what little respect I do have for Jack at the moment, I do give respect where it's due. He came out with the Fighters Club. I made mention about him having his backup with him. I will be watching my back. And I guess maybe he took that as a personal challenge and he said, okay. He sent them to the back. And I was very shocked by that. But yeah, I can't say there was any Fighters Club involvement with this match at all. So I have no one to blame for that loss but myself.
Well, I do know that I could see another match coming up because I know Kevin Phoenix loves controversy and he loves to play off that controversy. So this seems like the kind of thing that Kevin Phoenix would want to see boil over and see how far the Fighters Club would go. This seems like something that I could see Kevin Phoenix really pushing to happen again.
Did Kevin Phoenix do another $20 challenge at Spring Jam?
He did not, but he did show up. He did show up in the cruiserweight match. We forgot about that.
There was another unexpected
participant
in that matchup.
Him as
cameo.
Yeah, so he came out as first of all, it was Ricky the Ring Rat showed up, and then it was, I don't remember who unveiled Ricky the Ring Rat as Kevin Cochran Phoenix, or Kevin Phoenix Cochran the third.
Just say Triple K. It's easier.
Okay, but I ended up having yeah. So, but I
Again,
could see him getting behind this controversy and wanting to make some money off of it.
yeah,
So to speak.
it's box office, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Rick Diesel had a run in with Ricky the Ring Rat this morning, according to social media, I believe. So that was certainly interesting. Go out of your way to find that on social media, everybody. You won't have to go far.
Yeah, you'll have to find it 'cause I ain't talking about it.
And I don't blame you.
Ricky the Ring Rat looks better than some from the past.
Oh, mercy.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
It's a little kid.
Yes. I have
Well,
been
one
the
that looks
Pied
like Lex
Piper at
Luger.
times.
If somebody has your son gone to bed, Justin Flash?
Oh, come on
Yes.
now.
he
Yes, I was
definitely
going to
did.
say if anybody wanted to write a behind the scenes book about
It's after 10 o'clock TV talk time now.
about the AIWF Mid Atlantic, would it be called Tales from the Parking Lot?
Oh,
But
yes.
anyway.
But well, actually, what's funny about that is Kevin Phoenix and I sat down and we had some conversations about rats and wrestling and his $20 challenge, which was
Which
quite
will be coming
eye-opening.
out soon.
What's
It
coming
will be
out?
coming out soon.
What's coming out soon?
My conversation
That-
with Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a
Yeah,
video
she sat down
conversation.
and had an interview with Kevin Phoenix, and only 3 people knows what was in it, and we're not talking.
Oh boy. And this will be coming out on Roku, I imagine.
Yes,
It would have
hopefully
to.
this week. Oh, and by the way, it will have a parental advisory on it.
Yeah,
Oh, mercy.
this cannot be released publicly on YouTube.
Oh no. We won't. Yeah. So yeah, you'll have to get the Roku channel for that, but it's free. There's no
It is
paywall.
free.
It's free. It's no paywall. And the Roku device, guys, for you wrestling fans out there, if you do not have one, you need to get one because it makes your TV streaming so much easier. You can put YouTube on there, Peacock, Disney Plus, HBO Max, which is going to be just Max here in a few weeks. And I don't know how that's going to work, but all you streaming.
It better not mess with my 90-day. It better not mess with my 90-day fiance. That's all I got to say.
I don't think it will. I think they're just putting everything under. I think it's just going to be the same app with a new name, And I saw an ad. I was watching something on HBO the other night, and they were doing a pitch for it between programs, and it said no additional cost to HBO subscribers. So I'm like, yay, okay.
Oh, that's good because I was worried about that.
Yep. So they're being pretty cool about this whole thing. So I hope that who owns HBO now? Freaking who is it? Viacom, Discovery. Are they?
Yes, Discovery, because that's where I watch 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So thank you, Discovery, for being so cool about that. I'll be waiting. I'm waiting patiently for y'all to stream AEW.
I know the AIWF is on there. There used to be a whole station app that was just for independent wrestling, and
There's
it had
several, there's several
this
apps
was-
on there for independent wrestling.
and oh my God, if you love bad wrestling,
Yeah.
ooh, you got to get one of those apps and watch some of these indies. Oh man,
I can't do it. I'll make fun of it.
I can.
I know. And you wonder why your kids don't like wrestling. You show them all that garbage over the years. But anyway, it's just, I don't know. I remember like the only bad wrestling video. Billy made me a copy of something that the ICP did many years ago called Stranglemania 2.
Oh yeah.
And they were showing a bunch of matches from Japan. They got in trouble. They got sued over that and had to take it off the market, but because they were using a bunch of New Japan matches.
I used to purchase $5 wrestling from Hot Spots. Man, that was good too. That was Colt Cabana and Man Scout doing the commentary over. Woo! I think it started out as like terrible wrestling, but I think it might have morphed into scripted. But it was fantastic. If you can ever find $5 wrestling from about 10 years ago, man, it's the best bad I've ever seen.
Wow.
The best bad.
The best.
The best bad.
Mhm.
Oh, mercy. All right. Let me go ahead and do well, I got kind of a lull in the action. Let me go ahead and do our other two ad reads real quick and get that knocked out of the way. Can you guys see the slideshow?
Yes.
All right. So this is our first sponsor. They were Branch Management, and they'll always hold a special place in our heart. They're a tree service that operates out of the Mount Airy, Surry County area of North Carolina. They can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, or complete tree removal. They offer very competitive rates and free estimates and are here to serve you. Also may be eligible for a $100 referral bonus. So if you like their work and recommend them to a friend, it could be $100 in your pocket just for doing that. All you need to do is reach out to them, and you can get to them at 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994. That's for the tree service. And you gotta, I don't know how much of a hippie I am. I guess I'm kind of a tree lover because I lost my mind when the HOA cut down a dogwood a few years ago. But if you got a tree that's sick or something, you got to keep these things pruned, man, because wild, out of control trees can be a big liability. You have a branch fall off your oak tree and it goes through the neighbor's house. That's on you, Jack. So, you got to take care of your trees, and keeping them properly pruned is part of it. And sometimes if they get sick and there's nothing you can do for them, they got to come down. And that's what Branch Management can help you out with, is all kinds of health for your trees. 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994. They also do landscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and general handyman type services. You can get those at 336-648-2487. Again, that number is 336-648-2487. It's Branch Management, their first sponsor, and we are certainly continually appreciate their continued support. I got that all mixed up. And last but not least, our most delicious sponsor, T's Treats, is a food truck service that operates out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. It is available in most parts of the state and can be at multiple locations at the same time. They have a full menu, including hot dogs, milkshakes, pizza, ice cream. Stuffed crust pizza seems to be a real big hit right now, Rick Diesel. Well, I ain't anything out of Rick Diesel. Okay. 336-755-8204.
I'm back. I had you muted, so I wouldn't talk while you were talking over you, so I wouldn't get in trouble again.
Oh, that was you the first time? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It happens. We spare every expense here at AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Sometimes those things are going to happen. But the stuffed crust pizza, I like the milkshakes. My wife's a big fan of the funnel cake. I'm telling you, T's Treats has got some of the best hot dog chili I've ever eaten. I do try to recreate it here at home, and I just cannot do it. But 336-755-8204, you can get them to come to your event and set up, or you can just ask them about their availability. They have mini donuts as well. Rick Diesel, where is T's Treats going to be this week?
Dobson Square Park on Thursdays, truck number 2. Not sure about Wednesday, but it'll be somewhere in Mount Airy or Pilot Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on the social media for that. And I'm not sure where the truck number 1 truck, the A team, is going to be this weekend. I've been in Kansas all weekend.
When is the truck festival, the Mount Airy Food Truck Festival?
May the 7th.
May the 7th, okay.
Yes, the day after the next show that we have. Then, so yeah, downtown, Mount Airy, Main Street, be there.
That's on a Sunday, correct?
Yes.
All right. So look for T's Treats all over the area, Surry County. They're coming your way, and they are plumb delicious, no doubt about it. Oh, and we got to also not forget about the fight for the damn cats, which they got a real big kick out of Tiny Tigers Rescue when they came to the show a few times ago. Let me get their website up real quick. I like looking at their website live because the cats change out from week to week.
We're hoping they'll be back at the second show in May. I think that's Piggy Bank.
And they're on Facebook too, so I follow them on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah. See, we got a
Yeah,
whole
Money
new
in the
set of
Big
cats
Bank.
here.
Aww.
We got Tinsley, Tamsin, Makina, Batari. Jimmy Love's still there.
Jimmy Love.
Yeah. And so Kashka,
I'll be a
Misha.
tomcat.
Oh, he looks like it.
Probably a long-haired tomcat.
Yeah.
Too bad I'm allergic to cats.
I want another cat.
But anyway, Tiny Tigers Rescue, folks, is you can visit their website, tinytigersrescue.org. They operate in Surry County. They're a no-kill shelter. They adopt out cats, feral cats. They, sometimes they can't adopt the cats. They're just too wild. But they take care of them. They feed them and water them, keep them safe, get their medicines up to speed. Rick Diesel, what am I missing out on here? I mean, they
take a lot of feral cats and tame them. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of their goals is try to make these feral cats adoptable. And they do really good work.
Yeah. And you can see here, silver linings to those cats who always be forgotten. And this is not a typical shelter because they deal strictly with cats. And I've heard the same thing from the shelters down here in Cabarrus County. And I'm sure you guys have too. People always bring dog treats, dog stuff. Then a lot of times they forget about the cats. But so this is why Tiny Tigers Rescue is so special to us, because they are looking after the cats. And Rick Diesel, what's the number one thing they say they need?
Cat food.
Cat food. So if you want to buy,
they like the cat food that's made to be gentle on the digestive system.
Oh, we have a kitty cat that has that same tummy problem. Has to have special. Sorry.
yeah. So,
peek into our lives.
so we need stuff that's easy on the kitty cat's tummy. So don't be taking them up jars of jalapenos and spicy spaghetti sauce and fried chicken. We need so there's special kind. I don't have cats, so I don't
it's probably grain free. It's probably
grain
kitty
free
cat food that's grain free. So
they say that there's a Purina brand that's really good for the cat's digestive system. So I can't remember exactly. It's something about natural stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the natural or indoor formula, a lot of those are good for the digestive system. But yeah, we have a cat that's allergic to grain, so we have to get grain free, which is more expensive. But
sure. Yeah. So, but tinytigersrescue.org is their website if you want to take a look at that and donate. And I'm sure the grain-free cat food is more expensive. So you want to try to donate stuff that more for indoor cats, not farm cats. The cat that watches the barn and kills the mice and hangs around the horses. They got a little more tougher stomach than some of these cats. So
they're outside, so they can eat grass, which is good for their digestion, which is something that indoor cats don't get. And the indoor formula, I think, has more fiber that they would get from that. And so I think that's one of the things that helps with the digestion.
All right. So it's like Raisin Bran for cats. It really keeps everything moving.
Looks like Rick Diesel's out of the car and moving around.
It looks like he's going in a sheets.
Bathroom?
Yeah, he's in the sheets in the bathroom. So we're going to be quiet. He's going to take
Oh my God, please mute it.
This is like that scene in Naked Gun, when he goes in the urinal. Is this? I hope that's a Sheets bathroom. It looks like nice, fairly.
That looks like a rest stop.
It's Love's.
No, just a highway rest stop.
Just a rest stop.
Oh my God! Don't get murdered.
This is a first for AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Well, so folks, you are actually watching Rick Diesel take a piss on live internet TV, and
we're gonna get kicked off of Facebook.
No,
AIW at its finest.
No, we're not. We can't see his cock or anything. I mean, it'll be fine.
We can see him shaking it vigorously.
Yeah, if you shake it more than 3 times, you're beating it. I bet you ain't nobody heard that one in a while. Right?
I always heard if you wash it more than 3 times.
What's up, world champ?
That's the world champion. Ty Tyson making a rare appearance on Ringside Wrestling.
Oh my
Look,
God.
see, he's washing his hands.
Thank you. Gotta that wasn't long enough. You gotta
What?
sing happy birthday.
20
Did you use
seconds. 20 seconds is what they said during COVID, right? Yeah.
Wait, or what? Oh, I thought he was back at the urinal. He said he's wiping his hands.
Yeah. Reagan said that wasn't long enough. So
Well, at least he did it. I'm just
yeah.
saying.
You can't just get them wet and shake them.
This is an argument I have to have every day
Rick,
in my
you're
new
muted.
job.
Yeah.
It got busy in there right near the end.
How much longer y'all got to drive, Rick?
We are in we're between Charleston. No, yeah, we're between Charleston and Princeton, West Virginia.
Oh
talking
man, you're
to?
getting there. You're getting there. You're starting to get in the fight. You're on 77, so they're in the home stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I do miss those traveling days a lot.
I was
I
telling
gotta,
Rick Diesel
I gotta
that
get me
the
at
other
least one
day.
more road trip in with Rick Diesel before I'm all
Yes.
said and done with wrestling.
Me too.
I have
man.
That trip to Georgia was great.
I have a whole new vigor and a new lease on life now because I'm not in no pain.
All right. So
Eh,
one last thing I wanted to share with you guys, because we've been going for a while now, but I wanted to put the idea out there of doing a separate audio podcast. We talked that over at the next show, maybe. But in my search of wrestling Twitter, I have found something new that is so awesome. I've got to tell the whole world about it because this guy's out here trying to make a buck. And we talk about paywalls. I most of the time I'm down on them, but it's some good content. His name is Joe Marota. Maybe it's pronounced Mariota, but it's Marotta. Now he has got an AI device, right? And he has created like a podcast. What would it sound like if Gorilla Monsoon had a podcast right now? And he can make this AI imitate Gorilla Monsoon, imitate Bobby Heenan, imitate Mean Gene Okerlund, even imitate Conrad Thompson, right? I mean, this thing is so freaking cool. And I thought that I would share this with you guys. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can get the sound to work. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this on YouTube or not. I guess we're going to find out together. But this is mainly for our audio people, but I mainly wanted to like share it with you guys because it's just so awesome. And I want to drive what little traffic we can drive to him. I think it would be awesome. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to share my screen. Here's his Twitter page and take a look and listen to if Gorilla Monsoon had a podcast.
You got any plans? Hey, what do you
guys think of that?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that was, as you can see, that was part 82, and I just picked one out of the thread and clicked on it, and so it was the first time I'd heard that one. And so usually Mean Gene is not for that vocal in that, but I love that
That was a
joke.
bit wild.
What's worse than a CVIP match? 2 CVIP matches. That's some deep cuts from the 80s in those. That's just so hilarious. So
I have another soapbox about AI, but that'll take too long.
But AI used for comedy like that, I think is great. That's perfect. But he's got one where Mean Gene introduces the 91 Royal Rumble, where, Vince McMahon would normally do the intro for the Rumble back in those days, but it's Mean Gene and he makes wisecracks some of the certain wrestlers. It's really good, but it's Joe Mariota on Twitter. It's at _Joe_ Mariota if you want to check it out. It's quite entertaining. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with the world. Any final thoughts? I think I'm about ready to get out of here. How about you guys? We've been going a while. Reagan, John.
I gotta go to bed for my shoot job.
Yeah.
It's after dark, so I'm starting to look like Smiling Diamond Dave.
all you need is a cigarette,
Yeah. And Ty Tyson just got in the van that almost tipped over. So
yeah. Well, he's a big guy. It takes big shoes to be heavyweight champion. So
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But so how many hours was the total drive ended up being? I tried to do the math, but
It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 28.
one way.
No, both ways. No,
Oh,
it's
both.
14 out there, 14 back, give or take.
Okay. All right. Because I was comparing it to my trip from Virginia to
Yeah.
Shreveport, Louisiana in 99, and it's very, very similar. You know,
If Reggie's driving, we feel like we can pull it off in about 3.5 hours. Yes, very much so.
well, yeah, but Reggie doesn't pay any attention to posted speed limits. So
Right. We have found that out.
maybe need to take you with me to the Philippines in July, Reggie. If you drive that way, you'll fit
Sure.
right in over there. You know, the lines painted on the roads over there are merely a suggestion. So, but anyway, yeah. So Justin Flash, final thoughts.
Everybody be out May 6th for the next Mount Airy AIWF Mid-Atlantic show. I will be there. I will be addressing the fans a little bit about the situation at Spring Jam, and going to go from there. Not exactly sure what's in store for me, but everybody show up and find out along with myself.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin Flash. And as we get more news as May 6th rapidly approaches, we'll get that out there for you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all your favorite social media platforms except TikTok, because my niece and nephew tell me that's for 14-year-old girls. So not exactly our market. Ryan and Reagan, final thoughts.
Well, I know that we're not saying what yet, but there's going to be something special going on May 6th that we're going to reveal, that I think it's going to be revealed at the show. Correct, Rick Diesel? Is it May 6th?
Yes. Yes.
So,
And we
something
promise.
exciting.
Yep.
So if you want to know what it is, you got to come.
Yep, that's the idea. We're still in the
Yes.
paid attendance business here in independent wrestling, and we promise our reveal will probably be more exciting than whatever Tony Khan's reveal this Wednesday night's going to be.
Would you?
Sorry, man.
Everybody wrestling. There's wrestling for everybody. Everybody might not appreciate all, but I am glad that I live in a world where there is several options to watch for wrestling.
When was the last time you watched AEW?
I watch the videos online.
Okay.
I don't watch it on. I watch In the Kitchen with David on Wednesday nights on QVC, so I watch it later.
I admire your honesty. No,
Well,
I'm not trashing AEW.
there's a
I
lot
would
of
not do that.
bruising going on down there, buddy.
Look, man, Adam Page works there. I'm not going to put the bad mouth on it other than wise in a joking manner, because I'm glad he can make a living at wrestling as a full-time shoot job. So, you know, I'm very happy for that. But it is funny. I don't care. It is funny to me that Tony Khan puts us all out on social media that he's going to have these blockbuster announcements. And when he does them, he looks very uncomfortable on camera. And they usually, there's a lot more sizzle than there is steak with those. So I'm hoping he'll come out with something really good this week. But
I hear he's getting a new dog. Maybe he'll announce that Wednesday night.
Everybody,
as long as he brings the dog on TV, that'll be fine. But I don't want to hear about it unless he's going to show it.
just be happy that there's all this wrestling. Just be happy
Yes.
that it's not
I do agree.
WCW 2000. I mean, it's better than WCW in 2000.
Yeah,
That is true.
It is.
Take that as you
Set the
as you
bar
may.
really low. Oh, mercy. Oh Lord. But anyway, so kudos to them and good luck and all that kind of stuff. Folks, we'll be back here next week. Hopefully, if we don't get thrown off Facebook and YouTube. But thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. I'm all messed up now. I'm trying to do my Bob Caudle close, but I can't even remember how to get into it. So how about this? That's all for this week, wrestling fans. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now. Good night, everybody.
Good night.